Howdy, folks. What's all my fellow patriots doing out there, eh? Life is good in the Fourth Reich. Weather's nice. Heating up though a little bit, you know, it's getting a little hot under the collar. If you've been paying attention to the east or west coast, it always seems like these tyrannical trends start out on the coast, like, you know, whether it's greenie meanie legislation or I don't know, gender dysphoria, I don't know. Just in general, the evil seems to manifest, fester, and unfortunately infect the rest of the country from, you know, whether it's Hollywood, New York City. But I was glad to see Candace Owens. Man, she's really, she is like, I mean, out of all the people that I hear little tweets from, you know, little tweeters out there, I agree with her like 98% of the time probably, and she's just not holding back any punches, and that's what I love about her. And I think maybe it's just because she is so popular in and of her own right, you know, she's built that core group. I think she got like 23 million plus followers now on Twitter, something like that. It's pretty dang good. That's catching up to Elon Musk even. I mean, imagine that. The Messiah, according to most people, it seems like he's gonna set humanity on the right course and take us to the stars and give us all life extension technologies. We're gonna live forever, all in the name of the cult of science, of course. Which, if you've been paying attention now, the oh man, all the mother and all of her daughter harlots just met at the of all places, the Vatican, right? Where do all of the top brass, I guess, in the corrupt religious world get together? Well, of course, Rome is going to gather up all of her little chickies and come back to your mother. All roads lead to Rome, right? This camera's making too much noise. Give me a second. Okay. In any case, yeah. And what are they pushing for? They're pushing for a marriage of faith and science. Don't we already have that with the COVID cult? I thought we already had that. Like the science, the science, the science. You always gotta look to the science to you know, figure out how you're supposed to act in the free world anymore. You gotta look to the science and see what kind of rights we have left today. Or when it comes down to it, you overlook all of the contrary scientific experts and you fall back on the trusted, I mean, just completely trustworthy science, these health agencies and man, Fauci, the incestuous swamp creature that he is, that for some reason, even though, you know, Trump was there to drain the swamp, that didn't turn out too well, did it? Nor did the lock her up, nor did the build the wall even necessarily. You know, you think he would have like made some decent progress on that wall within the first year of his presidency, since that was his top priority. But anyways, I'm not going to get on a tangent about Trump. Yeah, but yeah, why wheel out Fauci? He's been in these corrupt health organizations for 30 plus years now, I think. Fauci, he was giving AIDS patients chemo pills, right? When every scientific expert of the day, said basically if you continue to take chemo like indefinitely, you're eventually going to die, right? But that was to save people from AIDS, which is still a questionable deal, that whole thing. But in any case, I mean, so now we have some of the strictest, some of the harshest vaccine mandates coming out of New York, where the new governor, Bimbo, they literally set a timeline for every single citizen. How does that, like, how's this for diversity, right? Like, we're also concerned with diversity and celebrating our differences, yet at the same time, every one of us is treated like cattle when it comes to this vaccine rollout. And even like whatever happened to medical exemptions, right? The only thing that seems to stick right now in some places, even though the governor of New York, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. It's really bad, but I got so much stuff in my brain right now. I can't keep track of all these swamp creatures. They keep on mutating into different variants, and I can't even keep track anymore. There's so many names and reclassifications and flavors and but yeah, she said that there's she said, according to her, speaking at a very large church, like, you know, politicians do these days, I guess. Just go preach your gospel at the church if you're a politician. Not sure how that's even constitutional, but from what I gather, you're not supposed to endorse any candidate from the pulpit, but you can endorse an issue, but you don't get up there and say, hey, vote for so-and-so. So I don't know what else kind of signal that sends by having a politician or a governor preaching from your pulpit. But in any case, yeah, that's my blinker, still broken. So anyway, she sits up there and she says, you know, Jesus said, I'll make disciples of all nations and preach the good news of the gospel. But she says, get out there, be disciples, and convert all your friends to get vaccinated, because that's the most important thing in the world right now. Even though, according to their own numbers, we have something like 70-80% of the population, the eligible population right now, injected with these things. But it never ends, does it? It just never ends. This is the equal opportunity, diversity, liberal utopia, right? I mean, so now we have I could just go off. But yeah, in LA, you can't do anything. You can't do anything other than maybe go to the grocery store and maybe the hospital if you're dying from a gunshot wound or something like that. Basically, you can't do anything in LA without your vaccine status. I mean, can somebody please just tell me what sick, twisted, Orwellian, you know, pre-Age of Enlightenment, pre-Reformation, Dark Age, medieval hell did we all just wake up in? Seemingly overnight, right? I mean, I know it takes time for this propaganda to set in, to really sink in, you know, first into the subconscious, and then through dog training, you know, through positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, really sink into our frontal lobes that this is the new normal. Remember that? Remember that little training, a little buzzword? Meaning what? Meaning what? We're not going back to normal? According to who? Who says, right? I guess the who. Because this is the corrupt globalist pushing for a new world order agency that all these clueless little sock puppets in it seemed like just about every governor's office throughout the nation. I mean, these health department people are a bunch of freaking idiots. I mean, they'll follow like little dogs sniffing each other's butts. You know, they'll follow whoever's in line ahead of them. You know, if it's deemed, if it's got that little stamp of approval, what the CDC says, NIH says, you know, that's all it takes for these clueless, what used to be doctors, right? When you used to be able to like build consensus, different opinions. You know, this doctor checks with this doctor. No, not anymore. It's just this centralized, corrupt, top-down bullcrap, and that's what's really destroying this country right now. It's this, you know, just all-sweeping appeal to authority. Everybody's too afraid. They're like little children. I swear, on every level of society, it's like high school peer pressure tactics. That's how they keep everybody in line. That's how they keep everybody under the boot of this completely tyrannical, unconstitutional, un-American, evil, just pure, satanically inspired globalist agenda right now. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. And it's just never ending. I mean, you have in Sweden, right? The Swedes, they just seem to be able to do whatever they want over there in Sweden. I don't know what the hell our problem is, but over in Sweden, they look at the data, right? The actual science. You know, because science is not just like a it's not like a kingship, you know, that's not like a divine right. It's, you know, these aren't like royalty, like Fauci's, you know. That's not science. Science is actually, okay, now that we've had a year and a half to, apparently, because this is a big human experiment, we've been gathering all this data. Now you look at the data and you ask yourself, you know, different experts get around and they get together and question the data. Okay, does this make sense? Are all these data points adding up? Or is there something that needs to be corrected? That's not happening with this new brand of science, right? This is dark age science. But in Sweden, I guess, apparently they dance to their own beats because they're putting a hold on some of the Moderna, I think it was, for younger kids, under 30, not under 18. No, not under 12, which is what they're talking about in this country now. We need to get 11 to 5-year-olds. We need to get pregnant women. I just saw on the Twitter, CDC. If you're a pregnant woman, or if you're gonna have a baby, you better get the jab. Protect your little baby. It's just sick. It's evil. You know what? And I don't give a damn. Like if they just keep, which they're doing anyway. They're shadow banning all my content. Put me in a dark little corner, right? With a dunce cap on. I don't give a crap, man. I'm gonna speak out anyway. If they ban all my content, I don't give a damn anymore. Because that's just more complying with these tyrants. To just, we gotta remain silent. I mean, I still gotta use some discretion on the main channel, I realize that. But I also gotta get some, I gotta get some high-speed internet. so that I can actually upload videos onto different platforms like BitChute, that is just notoriously unreliable. For me anyway, with my speed of internet, trying to upload any videos. Anyway, side issue. That's just my own life. But for anybody else out there who's listening, right? I'm not looking at the camera too much right now because I'm trying not to kill myself. There's a lot of traffic on this mountain road. As you can see, I forgot to put my seatbelt on again, so... But hey, I'm vaccinated. I'm good. I took my vitamins today, so you don't have to, right? Just this ignorance, this societal-wide... And they know exactly where they have us. That's the scary part. And you know what? Trump, like him or hate him, you know what? He probably divided this country more than any other. I mean, Obama was a close second, but... And it's not just him, of course. It's the media that just fed into the stupid narrative of racism and white nationalism. But... big picture thinking, you know, they have to keep this nation divided. They had to make this a political issue, this vaccine rollout. Because they didn't want a strong majority, which they would have if people weren't such sheeple, collectivist thinkers that just try to like... And I think that's, again, why they had to target the left, is because they're just so notoriously bad about virtue signaling, and they're just so susceptible to like group dynamic peer pressures, you know. Like, I grew out of that pretty early age, you know, like I think probably before even dropping out of high school, you know. That the truth comes out. But for some people, they're really, really concerned about their public image and how other people's view looks like of them. And you know what? Life is too short, and how can you at this point, with just this cacophony of babble out there, and everybody's got an opinion, everybody thinks they're right, how could you be that concerned about other people's opinions? I never got that. But anyway, I look to God, and God's way is the only way that I'm concerned about trying to conform to. And the customs of this world, and the trends and fashions and petty vanity. Like the song goes, it's just grown strangely dim to me. I don't really care. But in any case, I think that's why they had to target the left, just because they'd know they'd just be all over with their virtue signaling, with their latest fashion trend masks on, and I got the jab logos over their head, and they also knew that they're scared to death of the orange man. So that's the real Jedi mind trick. Like, how did they convince all of these liberals to fully embrace the big pharma jabs when you had Trump take full credit for Operation Warp Speed? That's still like mind-blowing to me. In any case, I'm not falling for either side of this little good cop, bad cop. A year ago, Trump was calling Biden an anti-vaxxer and spreading dangerous misinformation about vaccines, and now Biden's saying the same thing and pushing vaccine mandates for the entire country. That's how they play us, folks. It's just you hand the baton off to the next party, and man, we just keep getting screwed, don't we? It's just government keeps bloating up, getting bigger and bigger, and our rights and freedoms just get, shredded like the Constitution. So there's nothing left. And ultimately, this war is against this criminal enterprise that has co-opted our government. turned all the tools of the state against we the people and our freedoms, our constitutional individual rights. So don't get too caught up on personalities, that's all I'm saying. That's the problem. When you identify your own ego with this or that talking head, prepackaged product designed to fit the supply, reality TV show host. I mean, come on, guys. It's that harder to admit you're wrong, and pride is a big part of this problem that we have in this country. And the merchants realize this, right? The corporations, what do they cater to? And they're trying to sell you a product. It's all about me, iPad, right? iPod, iPhone. We've got a big I problem in this country. And that was Satan's biggest fault, you could say, is his pride. And this entire nation is just, we got a lot to learn. We got a lot of growing up to do in a real short amount of time. A real tiny little short amount of time. I don't know if we're going to do it or not. It's just the way things are headed, how fast they're pushing all these things. I think we all need to just get right with God, try to get as independent, off the grid, off the system, disconnected as possible, to the point where, if possible, and this isn't easy, but if possible, if your job is threatened, if your ability to buy or sell, to go to the store, to go to your Walmart is taken away from you, you got to be able to feed yourself. You got to be able to have some property, have a roof over your head, And we've been warned about this for decades and decades. We should have known better, right? Unfortunately, myself included, I'm not where I want to be, and I'm trying. And I don't know. Lord willing, maybe He'll take us to a point where we can be more, own our own property outright. And we're all going to be basically living like the Amish pretty soon. That's the truth to it. If we want to remain free, that's what we're going to have to do. And it's not a glamorous lifestyle, and that's the point, right? They don't want to make it a glamorous lifestyle to be free. They want to demonize nationalism, patriotism, right? They want to make it really trendy, really cool. I remember all these little concerts that they had during the COVID. What was it called? Global Citizen Live or some bullcrap. Yeah, they're targeting the kids, knowingly doing so. And the Pope and all of his little harlots are doing the same thing. The Jesuits are notorious. Why do you think all these world leaders, including Fauci, including Trump, why do you think they're all trained at Jesuit universities? Why is the Pope right now, as a Jesuit, making a really big deal about educating the youth? Right? They have their own little youth climate action group there at the Vatican. And oh man, they love Greta. They love Greta. So they're going after your kids now, not only with the vaccine mandates, but with this propaganda of this global citizen nonsense. And my question is, how long is it going to take until enough people wake up and realize that, man, we should have kept our country. We should have kept our way of life. We should have kept America. Unfortunately, by then it's going to be too late. That's the real sad part. Once you give up your sovereignty, once you give up your freedoms, your system of government that sets you apart from the rest of the world, when the rest of the world is all on the same page, the same tyrannical playbook, when you give up those little distinctive features, when you open your borders up, when you make entangling alliances like the Founding Fathers warned us about with other nations. I think it's just a matter of time until the ship is completely sunk. Or I gotta fill up some water. I'm at this fill station. Thanks everybody for listening. God bless. Try to have a good weekend. We'll see you.
This is not America.